pays off. The way isn't training, you don't bleed in practice, you die in the field. Look, swinging the wood till my knuckles are bleeding. I don't need rest, it's the combat I'm needing. 10,000 hours, I'm locked in the zone. Carving my spirit right down to the bone. Stepping my radius, watch how I sever. I'm swinging this blade like I do this forever. Practice make lethal, the rest make me cold. I'm gripping the steel till my body gets old. You talking that talk, but you skipping the gym. I look at the weekend, I pity for him. Every single morning, I wake up and strike. You never seen discipline looking like. I empty my lungs and I swing out the chest. I treat every shadow like it is a test. The way is the practice is war. I leave all my enemies down on the floor. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain and don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain and don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Look at the calluses covering my hands. I'm executing these tactical plans. You sleeping in late, I was up in the dark. Leaving the den in the wood and the bark. Slow down the tempo, I'm taking my time. Perfect the angle, I perfect the crown. 1,000 more cuts just to build up the muscle. You don't understand the extent of the hustle. Drilling the parry, I'm drilling the block. I'm beating the sun and I'm beating the clock. There ain't no secret, there ain't no hack. You step on the battlefield, you don't come back. Unless you put hours and hours of sweat. I am a consequence, I am a threat. Continue with practice, I never retreat. I'm dropping the opposition at my feet. Rap out the radio, we put in that pain and don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap out the radio, we put in that pain and don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. No days off, no excuses. You skip a day, you slip away. Strike 1,000 times before the sun is up. My mind is heavy, but my blade is light. Drill it again. Yeah. Aggressive approach when I step in the ring. I swing with the force that a hurricane bring. Master the form till the form is a ghost. I'm doing the most when you're doing the least. I turn myself into tactical beast. The way isn't training, it's etched in my brain. I'm walking through fire, I'm walking through rain. Ain't no arrival, it's only the grind. I'm leaving the rest of the rookies behind. Grab out the road, yeah, we put in that pain and don't talk about luck, but the way isn't training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Grab out the road, yeah, we put in that pain and don't talk about luck, but the way isn't training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Keep swinging, keep drilling. The ways of practice, yeah. Yeah. The ways of
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are doing absolutely phenomenal. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are engineered to win. Tonight we are going to jump back into testing AI models. These rags ain't loyal. I'm telling you. But maybe, just maybe, we can train them to be loyal. Testing AI models, retrieval, augmented generation. This is how we're going to be, you know, if you're consulting for a law firm, for a health clinic, whatever it might be, they want to get their own large language model. You got to get it accurate. And that's what we're going to be learning to do more of tonight. That is the game plan. We have some great break time topics. We're going to be talking about Waymo getting recalled of 3,700 vehicles. All right. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the AI agents battle. We have Anthropic introducing some AI finance agents. And then we have Microsoft introducing legal agents into Microsoft Word. And then we're going to finish off with Amazon and their pesky employees gaming the AI system, faking AI work so that they can run up their numbers, because they said that that Amazon is asking way too much of their AI usage. So that is our game plan for tonight. But before we jump into that, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you so much to every subscriber to the channel. Thank you for helping us grow. I really, really appreciate your support. You allowing me to connect with you, adding value into your life. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every last one of you. Shout out to my tech barbarians. I just scheduled our Vibe Code and Chill coming up this Saturday. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. You can stream it live at TechCoach.dev. You can join us on the Google Meet link that is also over there. You can go to TechCoach.dev, see the information, join us. I have a business analyst coming to join us to share insight about her day-to-day, what kind of work that she does. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I have another tech barbarian who is going to be sharing with us about about OpenAI's Codex and how she is using it to test and things like that. And then I have another tech barbarian sharing with us about how they're learning to test AI models as well. And of course, we have our best friend in the building, Junior, who's going to be sharing about his progression with his photography app before he got sent to the lovable gulag for running out of his credits. But it is amazing to see the work that's being done. And if there is time for little old me, I will show how I enhanced my my app to work with OBS. So we have so many things coming up at Vibe Code and Chill with me and the Tech Barbarian. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Shout out to the Tech Barbarians who work so hard day in and day out. We are the very, very best. Shout out to my Tech Mercenaries, the YouTube channel members who allow this channel to go across the world. Thank you so much for supporting. I can't do it without you. I cannot do it with every last one of you. So to every last one of you, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
We are the very, very best.
We the best.
And let's go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
Let me go. You know what? I'm gonna actually go to my channel real quick, and I'm gonna share some links with you guys. Let's go to, so Monday, on our Canon conversation, I shared an answer to a question that I had in a comment. Do you need to go to college, or do you need a bachelor's degree to become an identity and access management engineer, which it carries through for anything in cybersecurity, anything in tech? I answered that question. Do you need a bachelor's degree to succeed in these roles? So I'm gonna drop all three of those links for you, right? So let me see, but we have that one, right? And we're gonna go to, let me get that. Give me a second. All right, so we have Canon Conversations. Do you need a degree in order to land a role in cybersecurity or identity and access management? The answer is in the video. You really, really want to watch. You really want to watch it, all right? But then yesterday, let me see, candid conversation. Degree to land a role. So we answered that question. Then yesterday, I shared with you guys about Gemini Gems, how it helps you automate repetitive tasks, and it even has a filter. You say, okay, if I put this word, I'm going to get this type of prompt. If I put this word, I'm going to get this type of response. Really, really helpful. Really, really cool things. I highly recommend you also check out that video. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well. I'm telling you, you really want to watch it. You want to watch it. You want to set it up. It is really, really important, right? Put that over there for you. And then tomorrow, we have our episode of the Bug Bite, where we are going to be talking about AI police employees, I guess. They're basically hiring AI for their dispatchers. That's what it is. AI police dispatchers versus AI scammers. Now we have the battle of good and evil, of lawful versus unlawful in the AI realms as well. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be reviewing that tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well. I think it's dropping around 10 a.m. So definitely want to tune in and check it out. But that is what we have going on. And then we have our Vibe Code and Chill Saturday, like I mentioned. We have our business analysts. We have OpenAI's Codex. We have testing AI models, and we have I might be able to share about my app, and hopefully we're able to get Junior to share about his photography app progress as well over at Vibe Coding Chill. Sunday, back live again with hopefully we have no issues again on this coming Sunday, but we're gonna be working on the speech coaching app. Looking forward to make progress on that, all of those good things. So I'm looking forward to seeing you for all the way, every day. We work every single day. There are no days off. All right, let me get into the chat really quick, and then we're going to get into our first working segment because we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. So let me see what we got going on. We got my guy Junior in the building. Hits us with the what's up, what's up, what's up, family.
What's up? What's up?
What up, Junior? How is it all going? Hopefully everything is going well with you. Junior says, if you have Prime, it might arrive on time. So here's the deal. Here is the deal about that, right? So that's not what I wanted. But here's the deal. I didn't order it on Amazon. I had to order it straight from their site because they don't sell this particular thing, this particular device on Amazon. So I was kind of heartbroken about that because, you know, like I don't like not ordering on Amazon. Because then I have to might have to wait longer. So hopefully they ship it fast. Well, it's free shipping, so I don't know. It might be here next week. If it is here next week, I'll show you at our following Vibe Coding Chill. But I can at least show it to you. I can show you the item itself on Vibe Coding Chill. It is an absolute game changer. All right. We got my guy Rod Brown. I'm gonna say Rod Noise Canceling Brown in the building. What up, Rod Brown?
Meep, meep.
It's an inside thing. Junior, you should get it as well. But Mr. beloved brother Rod Noise Canceling Brown is in the building. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I pressed the wrong. I pressed the wrong button. All right. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to work. We got a lot of things to do today, so let's not waste any more time clowning and joking around. Serious face. Serious face. I don't know why I pressed button. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's get to it. So, you know what? Maybe at Vibe Coding Chill, I'll also show some additional customizations that I did to setting up my lower thirds, integrated some AI into there. But really, if you want to focus on the most important things, then you need to build workflows around it. You need to build little features around it so that things that are not the most important, you use AI for it so that you can focus truly on the content or whatever it is that your craft is. You want to be able to fully immerse yourself in that. So all the little extra stuff that it's not that important to you, you outsource it. It used to cost you a lot of money. Now, pennies upon pennies a month. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our first topic of tonight. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put up our first 20.
It's time to do.
And we're going to find out exactly where we left off. So we're going to go over to this screen. And we were testing the RAG, the retrieval augmented generation last week. And now, so let me see. I forgot exactly where we left off, but I think we were getting to the assertion part. So I'm going to go ahead and just run it and then we'll go from there. All right. So let's go ahead and press this. And we have, no, that's not the right one. Let's stop that. What happened to did we do it through let's do current file. Let's do that one. All right. So for recap, while this is running, let's walk through the file real quick, right? As a little recap, we have so we are forcing, we're kind of mocking it, saying the retrieved context of the, like this basically goes into the database. It's saying that the store policy, premium t-shirts and hoodies can be returned within 14 days of delivery. Items must be unworn in original packaging. Custom design or personalized apparel is non-refundable. Right. So this is the concept that it's using. So now the user question is what a user would ask is, can I return the custom hoodie I brought? And now we're telling what the RAG prompt is, like to read the context below, which is going to be, this is the context. And then the user question as well, right? So then it's taking in this information, it's taking this information. It's printing it out, and now it's calling Gemma, and it's passing into Gemma the RAG prompt, which is read the context below and answer the question. This is the context that it provided, and then it's putting in the question, and then it's going to output the answer, right? So that's the very first part. Next up, what we had to do was we had to evaluate the response to see if it's accurate or not. So we pass in the evaluation system prompt. You're an expert AI auditor. Your job is to check for hallucinations, yada, yada, yada. Pass in the rules. And then we were just listing out what the question was. And then we're saying return the response in is it faithful? Is this RAG loyal? That is the question we want to answer, right? And then to have some fun with it, it says a one-sentence explanation of why. As part of the reason, if it's false, include, these large language models ain't loyal. As part of the reason, if true, at the end says, I'm your ride or die large language model forever, right? So there we go, right? So then we pass in the evaluation prompt. We're running it. It says, are these RAGs loyal? And then we go from there. And it says, print audit results, faithfulness is faithful, and the reason why. And then we are asserting whether it passes or failed. All right. So here are the results that we have. And it says, can I return the custom hoodie I brought? And the RAG answered no, custom designs or personalized apparel is non-refundable. And it says running, so this is the answer to the question, right? Based on the input context. So now it says running the faithfulness evaluation. I should change it, running the loyalty. I should call it running the loyalty check. It says audit results faithful. Is it faithful? Yes, it is. It says the answer accurately quotes the policy that states custom design or personalized apparel is non-refundable, directly addressing the custom nature of the item mentioned in the query. I'm your ride or die large language model forever. All right. And it says pass. The model's answer was strict, grounded in context. I'm your ride or die RAG. All right. So there we go. Now we're going to, so part of the issue that we had last time though was we needed to lock down how the large language model was able to answer. So we did that. All right. So I'm going to go over and jump into this screen. And let me see where we left off. The test we were expecting to pass failed because of this reason. So this is what we fixed last time. The answer includes the specific detail, including a custom hoodie, which is an interpretation example not present in the source context. This was the answer that Gemma returned. No custom design or personalized apparel, including a custom hoodie, is not refundable. So this is a beautiful result. So we got that. The strictness paradox. If your test didn't fail. So all right. So now I'm remembering, right? Based on the type of platform that we are, that's how we determine the strictness of how we judge the response, right? So option 1, tune the app, make the model a robot. If you're building a strict legal or medical compliance bot, The judge is right. The model should never infer that a hoodie is apparel. You would fix this by updating system prompt. The generator, I believe we tried that last week. Answer the user's question using only direct quotes from context. Do not use any words from the user's prompt in your quote. And then we tune the judge is what we just reviewed over here. If you're building a customer service bot, the original output was actually great. It mapped the user-specific item to the policy. In this case, the defect is in your test framework, not the application. You need to calibrate the judge to understand, and this is like fine-tuning, right? To calibrate the judge to understand semantic mapping. Here's how you fix your test script by updating the evaluation rubric to handle this exact edge case replace. So then we had to use this, right? So we read this already. Notice how we also pass along the user question so we passed the user question into the judge's prompt so that it has the full context, the full picture of why the model said hoodie. Takeaways for AI testing. Traditional QA is binary, so it's either true or false. Like this is the expected results, is the results that I got. With AI, there is a negotiation with QA, with quality assurance to see, all right, does it fit or is it too far off, right? You're constantly calibrating how strictly your automated judge grades the application based on your business requirements. If you update that rubric and run the script again, the judge will now pass it likely with a reason. Yeah, so we got that already. Would you like to write a quick test case for the other side of the coin, answer relevance, where the model tells the truth but completely ignores the user question, actual question? I think I do, but there's one thing I wanted to check because there was a. Let me see. I did want to, so I do want to do that, but I also want to take a look at the poisoned answer. Let's do that. So in order for us not to lose, I'm going to say, I would like to have a test for manually injecting a poisoned answer, a hallucination in the script. Next, just to verify the judge correctly failed the test. I would also like to have an answer relevance test as well. Where the model tells the truth but completely ignores the user's actual question. So I want to do both of those, okay? All right, so you have officially stumbled upon the core tenet of a senior AI QA, meta evaluation or testing the test. Before you can trust an automated large language model as a judge to guard your production pipelines, you have to prove the judge actually works. By deliberately injecting a known failure, a poisoned answer, you are verifying that your testing framework has teeth. Teeth, right? Here's a Python script that executes both your scenarios. We bypass the generation step entirely and feed manually crafted bad answers directly into the judge to see how it reacts. So scenario one, the poison answer, hallucination. We will feed the judge an answer that contains a hallucinated 9-day return policy. The judge should flag this as a faithfulness, is faithful false because the context only mentions 14-day policy, all right? So scenario two is going to be the answer relevance, the evasive AI.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
All right. If it's evading, right? It's the AI. It is the AI fugitive. Sometimes, we're about to get into it. Sometimes an AI gets confused by the prompt and acts like a politician. It tells you a completely true fact that has absolutely nothing to do with what you ask. So there, all right, I think I figured it out. Now, is this Gemini taking a jab at the mayor of New York? It tells you the complete true fact, but absolutely nothing to do with what you ask. So you ask, are you going to raise taxes on the on basically the middle class, right? Are you going to raise property taxes? And the answer that you get is, it is a beautiful day in New York today. There are the rats are hibernating. They're not out and running. You know, the rats that are the size of baby dogs. They eat little dogs sometimes, right? And you say, are you going to raise the taxes on us? And he says, it is a beautiful, beautiful day in the subway. We are going to raise the. We're gonna make riding the subway absolutely free. And it's like, it might be true that he plans to make riding the subway absolutely free, but he did not answer the question: is your property taxes going up in New York? It says, we will ask if a custom hoodie is refundable and feed the judge an answer that states the store's inventory. The judge should flag it as irrelevant, false. Create a new. I have to create a new one. Can I just add it to the exist? All right. So I'm when I am doing these scenarios, these examples, I don't always want to create, like, I don't like to follow along word for word, because guess what? I am not AI. I am not Mayor Mamdani. I do have a right. All right. I had to stop myself. Because while it may be true, that was not nice and uncalled for. So I'm gonna take it back what I was about to say. All right. Let's erase that. So let's start over. I don't like to follow along. Exactly, because I'm like, I can do it better. Okay, so let's go ahead and says the judge should have a flag is relevant false. The dual test script, create a new file called testrag.judge.py and run this. I am going to, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add to this existing test rag, right? Or to the existing test large language model as a judge. I'm just going to add this new test. Well, trying to think of the best way to do this, because if I turn this into a test, then I can just run each test individually and not have to run them. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and go into here, right? I'm gonna duplicate this one so that if I had my glasses on, I could like have one screen looking inside. I can't wait to get these working. Let's go to here, and we're gonna go here. Let's go here. And we are gonna say the from the bottom. Gee whiz. Well, it's okay. I'm gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with my original thought, just because I would have to turn this into like tests and stuff like that, and I don't want to have to do the extra work at this current moment. So let's go over here. We're gonna say my original thought, my original intention. I'm changing that up a little bit, and I'm gonna go to new Python file, and we're going to say, let's see. They said call this test rag judge. And I wanted to add it to the other one because it's basically doing the same thing, But if I do that, then I have to go and change. It's just going to be annoying if I have to do that. All right. So let's go here and we're going to say import requests, import JSON, import re. And that's the reason I want to do part of the same one, because import, or say from, what is that thing called? From helpers, import call Gemma. All right, there we go. What up, my guy Tech Niche Tip? Shout out to my guy Joseph in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by. Always a pleasure to have you in the building. We're gonna do, and you guys go subscribe to Tech Niche Tips. I am over there every Monday morning listening in, sometimes calling in and joining Trey and Joseph for the conversation. Great convos, great talks, great topics over there. Let me see. All right, so we're gonna do, so we already got our call Gemma going in. Now we want to do define test poisoned faithfulness. And we're going to say, oh, we don't need quotes over here. We are going to say print and testing faithfulness the poisoned hallucination. And I'm just gonna, tag in there print, is you loyal or nah? There we go. Is you loyal or nah? All right, and now retrieved context equals, I'm just gonna copy this because I don't need to know how to type this out. And this is the same thing as the last one, right? And we could probably make this more robust to work with the other one, but it's basically saying that stuff that are not personalized are refundable. Things that are personalized are not refundable. Same thing we had on the other one, right? So now we say that the poisoned answer, you can return hoodies within 90 days of purchasing, of delivery, as long as they are not as long as they are not custom designed. All right. Next up, let's go here. Print f string, because we can f strings, you can insert variables into it. Injected poison answer. All right, although time is up, let's just run this real quick to see what happens. Oh, we need to do real quick def main. Is it like this? Oh, I never remember how it goes. It's like name. There we go. If name. Something like that, all right? Equal, oh, it's in, all right. if that, then test poison. So let's run that real quick and then we go to break, right? All right, so is he loyal or not? And it has the injected poison answer, right? So that is what we're going to be working on when we get back from break. Let's go ahead and go to break before Rod Brown before Rod Brown starts to noise cancel me. All right, so I cannot have that. So let's go to break, okay? Let's go to boom, boom. All right. So let me check the chat, and then we are going to get to our first break time topic, talking about Anthropic. Actually, are we talking about Anthropic or Waymo? Talk about Waymo first. We'll talk about Waymo first. So let me see what we got going on in the chat. We got my guy, Tech Niche Tips in the building. Says, keep it up, bro. Thank you so much, Joseph. Shout out to you.
I appreciate you.
And Rod Brown says, just drown already. My goodness, Rod Brown.
How dare you?
Have some patience already. Have some patience, I tell you. I'm telling you. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into this topic. First, which one? Let me see which one is mine. I guess this one. Nope. It's this one. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. What does 3,700 Waymo vehicles recall mean for self-driving technology? Nope, not that one. I'm all confused. All right, let's go.
Waymo is recalling more than 3,700 self-driving cars because of a software issue that can cause them to drive into flooded areas. Several viral videos are online showing that the cars slow down, but then they continue to move forward into the water. The cars do detect the water, but they do not stop. Waymo is now working on a permanent fix and limiting operations in areas that may be at risk for flooding.
I wonder why, if that is the case, why would they need to recall the vehicles? Because it should be a software update, right? So I don't understand why in particular they would have to recall the vehicles. But I think something that can help us understand the whole Waymo and the way that it works is getting a better understanding of how they build their self-driving technology. So we're going to also watch this video. But I do wonder, it should be an over-the-air update, right? It shouldn't just be, and I don't know, the whole recall thing is kind of weird to me because it should be over the air. You shouldn't have to recall the vehicle to any particular location. You should push the update. And if you don't have the update ready yet, then you can deploy the vehicles that don't need the update, or you can deploy all the vehicles during a time that like there's no rain, no flooding that can happen. And then the ones that need the update, you make those not serviceable until you have the update available. So and the other question is, I know it can detect the water, but how does it know how deep the water is? So with all those questions in mind, let's just watch a little bit. How does this self-driving technology that Waymo has, how does that work?
There's the obvious, which is the driver, the software that runs the car. But there are two other very important pieces of the tech stack. One, of course, is the simulator, which is this virtual environment where you can test the car before you deploy it on the roads. And then there's a critic, which is a piece of software that's able to detect suboptimal performance in the simulator or in the real world. Because then you can hone in on those suboptimalities and then improve the driver and then verify that those fixes have indeed worked in the simulator. So it's really the driver, the simulator, and the critic is that triad right, in our tech stack that allows us to scale.
You have the full stack. when it comes to autonomous vehicles.
That's right.
At Waymo.
That's right.
But some of your competitors are going for a very different approach, the kind of the brain-only approach, the end-to-end machine learning approach, without as much hardware, without necessarily those three different components.
That's right.
What gives you conviction that your approach, that the Waymo approach, ends up winning out?
Our tech stack focuses not just on the driver, but also ensuring that all of the plans the driver generates, it's GenAI, of course, so it generates plans, but you have to make sure that those plans that it generates are safe. And so you need.
So when it's saying the driver, is it referring to, let me pull up a Gemini right next to this, because when it says the driver, is it referring to the AI agent as the actual driver? Let me see. Let's keep watching it. I'll do some search.
You need to build in safety checks in real time so you can make sure the driver is prioritizing safety. And so it's the driver, the simulator, and the critic, onboard components that prioritize safety, which is an onboard validation layer, an independent validation layer to ensure.
Hold on. I got to get, it says the driver.
It's the driver, the simulator, and the critic.
The driver, the simulator, and the critic. Where are those all AI agents that are running independently to validate its driving ability, I guess? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, right? So let's keep watching the video while this search goes through.
Take onboard components that prioritize safety, which is an onboard validation layer, an independent validation layer to ensure the driver does the right thing. And when you look at all of that, that's what it takes to drive.
Interesting. So let's go and see what. I'm curious, because this self-driving technology, I have someone that I know who worked as a QA engineer for one of these self-driving companies. So just trying to get a better understanding of how Waymo works overall, because with the understanding of how it works, then we can also get a better understanding of like how the software is deployed and how it's tested. Why didn't they catch that like it could go into flooded zones earlier? All right, so it says you are on the right track, but they aren't all independently driving. Instead, there are 3 distinct AI models working together in a highly coordinated system, often referred to in machine learning as an actor-critic reinforcement learning architecture. Rather than 3 separate agents taking the wheel, yeah, I know that. I didn't say that they were in the, all right, Gemini, I'll let you have that one, right? Rather than 3 separate agents taking the wheel, they form a continuous automated feedback loop to train, test, and validate the software. Here's how the roles break down. The driver, the actor, this is the actual AI agent that makes the driving decisions. It takes in data from its environment, cameras, lidar, radar, and decides how to steer, accelerate, and brake. Its singular goal is to safely and comfortably navigate the vehicle from point A to point B. The simulator, the environment, this AI isn't driving the car, it's building the world. Waymo uses generative AI world model to create a hyper-realistic dynamic virtual test track. It can simulate everything from a standard daily traffic to a highly complex rare edge case, like a pedestrian chasing a ball into the street during a rainstorm, but not a flood zone, apparently. It acts as a massive automated testing ground. So basically when they're testing it, they don't start off on the actual road. It's like they're doing a simulation of driving, I guess we could say. The critic, the evaluator, this is the AI responsible for grading. The critic constantly watches the driver navigate both the simulator and real world scenarios. It analyzes the driver's behavior, flags any suboptimal decisions, and it provides a reward or penalty score. And we learned about that in learning about how to test AI models, about reinforcement learning and things like that. The virtual cycle. These three models create a massive learning flywheel. The simulator sets up a difficult scenario. The driver attempts to navigate it, and the critic evaluates the performance. The critic's feedback is then used to mathematically tweak the driver's neural networks, teaching it to make better decisions the next time it encounters a situation. So it's less like three independent drivers. I never said, by the way. And more like one driver taking a test, one world builder creating the test, and one strict grader scoring it. Makes sense. It makes sense now. Just when they use the word driver, I was like, wait, what do you mean by that? But that makes total sense. So that is how Waymo works, right? That's how Waymo works. But it's also a part of the reason why they have a software defect where their cars are driving into flood zones, and luckily, it does not consider the river or the ocean as a flood zone, because that would be catastrophic for Waymos. All right, so let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for that, at least, you know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the Waymo recall. And have you ever ridden in a Waymo? Because I am eager to ride a Waymo. But have you ever ridden a Waymo? Let me know. What do you think about this recall? What do you think about the way that Waymo works in general? Do you have any questions about it? Do you want us to go more in depth in it? Please let me know. Drop me a comment below. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live, and drop new content as well. Join us at techcoachtrap.dev for Vibe Coding Chill. Join us for our Scrum Nights. Get access to Resume Flow, the Tech Barbarians coaching portal, and the Speak Precisely app, so you can level up every single aspect of your life with Tech Coach Ralph. All right. Let's go back to check the chat, and then we're going to get into our next topic of tonight. So let's see. Junior says, Gem sounds similar to having a specific chat about a specific topic, open and continuing the conversation, so the AI can draw from everything spoken about before it in the same chat. Yes, that is true, but Gemini already has context, right? So in the video that I made, I created something like we have every other week, alternating weeks. We have our Scrum Nights and we have our Vibe Code and Chills. So in the gem that I created, if I type in Scrum and I give it some high level details, it's going to generate a full title for our Scrum Night event and a description for our Scrum Night event. If I type in Vibe, it's going to create the Vibe Code and Chill title and description, and it's going to use all the context and stuff like that. So, and then if I type something, and it's going to give me a repost, and it's like a lot faster to get to the point instead of having to retype things over and over and over again. So it's like a template, because it still uses your memory from of your whatever your setting that you have in Gemini, whatever you've spoken about before. But it also takes that context of everything else, using that template to format. So you can build out the whole. I want it to be formatted like this. It's kind of like when we worked on the Claude Code skills. It's like a skill, but for the web, right? So it's like a skill for your Gemini window. So it's really cool, really cool. Junior says that it's going to take people for a swim. And says he told us what each one is earlier. Yeah, I remember he told us, but the way that he shared it, he made it seem like it was actual people. That was like, what? But it's all AI models that are working independently to validate and to reaffirm and to reinforce certain things, right? So that is great information. Understanding how this technology works helps you know where to invest your money. Should you actually use these softwares as well? And it just gives you a lot more context overall. All right. So really, really cool stuff. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next segment for tonight. Let's go ahead and put up another 20.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right. So let's go back into setting this up. And so we have our injected poison answer, right? Now we need to do our evaluation. So basically the difference is we are force feeding the answer. We're not letting it answer for us. So in our first test, it actually gave us the, like, it went and looked up the answer from the RAG, and then it compared it to the answer that it generated to see that if it was accurate or not. Now we are force feeding it the answer so that we can make sure that it's not going to give us a hallucinated answer, right? So let's say we say eval rubric, and you know what I'll do actually? I am going to, after all is said and done, I am going to format this test code in the way that I would format it at work. Like, so that would be to make it reusable, make it like a real project, right? You are in AI auditor, checking for hallucinations. Rule: the actual answer must be entirely deducible from the source context. All right, next up, we're going to say source context, retrieved context, actual answer, and then the actual answer is going to be the poisoned answer that we fed it. All right, that we created. And now, oh, come on. Now we're going to say return a strict JSON. And we're going to say, what? Is Old Faithful and true or false? Reason why? All right, so that's everything over here. Now we're going to say print evaluating results equals call Gemma. Call Gemma judge. Okay. Next up, see, and all this clean results type stuff, that see, I'm gonna optimize this real quick. I'm going to say how can I optimize this? Okay, so it's passing the results. All right, so let's just, I'm gonna optimize this in a second, right? Re.sub r JSON result dot strip, right? And then eval data equals JSON dot loads clean results, or All right, so we got that. And then we want to do print F string judge verdict faithful. And we're going to say eval data dot get is faithful. And then we say, oops. Is faithful, and then a reason eval data dot get all right, so we got all that. Next up, we're going to do the assertion. We expect it to be false. And we want to do assert eval data.get is faithful. Is false. Then do test failed. And say the judge missed the hallucination. All right. All right. And if it all works out, we're going to say, we're going to say print check mark judge test passed. The LLM successfully caught the hallucination, the hallucinated 90-day policy. All right, so there goes that first one, and we're going to say I want to say test. Test. All right, so we already had it there, right? So I'm going to go here, here, more. And I'm going to run this again so we can see. So we can see what happens with this one. It should tell us that it's hallucinating. Where do we put this one over here? All right, so, oops, I didn't want that to go there. I want it to go here. So it says that it's false. The reason the source context states that premium t-shirts and hoodies can only be returned 14 days. The actual answer claims 90 days return window, which contradicts the provided text. Look at that. That is awesome. All right, so we got that. So now they want to do the other test. And like I said, I want to combine, now I got it. I can combine all of them together, right? So let's go ahead and do the second test. This is going to be for the relevance portion of it. Let's go to define test answer relevance. And we're going to say print testing answer relevance, the evasive Mamdani model. Oops, my bad. Let's go here. And we're going to say the user question. Can I get a refund on the custom hoodie I bought yesterday? All right. And we are going to do X. The irrelevant answer factual to the context, but ignores what the hell was asked. All right, so now irrelevant answer tech coach Ralph sells premium t-shirts. And hoodies that can be returned. Returned within 14 days. Okay. Print F string. User question. User question. You want this wrapped in a quote. All right, next up, we're going to do print the irrelevant answer. And we're going to do irrelevant answer again. Next up, we're setting up the evaluation rubric. And I think that could be parameterized better as well. You are an AI auditor checking for answer relevance. Rule, it should be indented too. The actual answer must directly address and resolve the user question. It is not enough for, all right, say It is not enough just state facts. All right, so we got that. Then we have to. So another one. User question. User question. We're gonna say you actual question. And we're gonna say irrelevant answer. And we're gonna go, we got that. Next up, and you see how all this stuff is exactly the same? That's why I don't like typing the same thing over and over and over again. I think we can turn this into a parameter right here. So we're gonna clean it up along the way, all right? But I just want to get this to work because we have our positive test, we have our 2 negative tests, which is very, very important. Something that we can also do, which I'm not sure if it's gonna be today or if it's gonna be next week, but seed some data into a RAG so that we can really test the RAG as best as possible, because we need some data into the large language model. All right, so return a strict JSON object, and we're going to say return a strict JSON object. We're gonna go here, here. And you should be familiar with this by now, is relevant true or false. Reason why. All right, so we got that. And then, so this can go up. Got that. And now we're setting up the final part of it. Print. Evaluating. Results. We're going to call Gemma again. Result. Call Gemma. Very, like, these, like, tests are, the way that you have proper tests is that they are exactly the same, they're repetitive, and you should just be able to seed different data in it over and over again. So that's why I'm not happy with how these tests are at the moment, but we will optimize them to make them better, all right? Maybe, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in the next segment. We'll make these tests better in the next segment so that next week you can hit the ground running with implementing a more things for it to look up. I'll call Gemma. Eval rubric, cleaned results, exactly like the other one, right? So we're gonna take some opportunities to refactor all this. Re.sub r and then results. Result dot strip, and then, all right, so we got that, and now eval data equals JSON dot loads, and then clean results, right? So all of this is like repetitive code that we're going to clean up in the next segment, right? F string, we just want to get it to work first. Judge, verdict, and then everything that can be optimized and refactored, we're gonna get that. Judge, verdict. And
Lunch break.
Relevant. Eval data dot get is relevant. Reason, eval data, dot get, and what is it called? The reason. What? Dot get reason. All right, so we got that. When we get back, we'll finish up the assertion and then we will make sure that's working and then we'll go from there. All right. So let's go to break go to break. So when we get back, we will finish off this assertion and then we're going to clean it up. Let's see what we got going on in the chat, and then we will get to our next break time topic for tonight. All right, so we got, this one first. We got life lessons in the building. What up, life lessons? It says, what up, everyone? Are we writing Python tests? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It says, are you using a test harness? Right now, nothing yet. Right now, this is all pure Python code that we're following along in Gemini on how to get this test set up. And something I'm noticing that I don't like is that it's making us write a bunch of repetitive code and tests. So we're going to optimize that, but we're not using a test harness yet. We will definitely look into that and to see how we can set up this test harness. But this is all pure Python right now. It's even using it's not using any like PyTest or anything like that. It's just using like the main if name equals main, then run these functions. So we're not doing that yet, but we will be. We will be getting all of that set up because all of that is part of the testing process for QA engineers, especially AI QA engineers. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next topic of tonight. Hopefully I get this right. Let me go here. Yes, Anthropic and Microsoft launching AI agents. Anthropic focusing on financial industry. Microsoft focused on the legal industry, right? So let me go and pull this up. Let's start off with, we're going to start with Anthropic. You know, let's start off with the biggest fear mongers in the world, and then we'll jump into Microsoft. So let me go to jump into that one.
Anthropic is threatening further disruption on Wall Street, releasing new agents for tasks in banking, insurance, asset management, and fintech. Avril has been looking into this. We're talking about, 10 new tools? I mean, frontier capabilities.
Yeah, and it's putting Wall Street on watch. That's causing some ripples in the finance industry, given how you're already seeing overnight, right? FactSet, Morningstar, S&P, Moody's. Their shares came under pressure following the release from Anthropic, and essentially here, these new tools that Anthropic has pushed out, they say they're going to allow draft pitches for client meetings, flag things up for compliance review. So the industry capabilities for banking, insurance, asset management, fintech as well. And of course, the market reaction that we saw is a bit of a reminder of this apocalypse that we saw Anthropic really playing a role in already earlier in the year. So as some of our colleagues have highlighted, Anthropic is coming for Wall Street.
Well, it is coming for.
This is so hyperbolic, so dumb. Like the whole take. It's so silly. This is a silly take. Why do I say this is such a silly take? Anthropic is coming for Wall Street. Do you think that the clients, like even if it does the pitch deck and everything like that, do you think that the clients are just going to read, like all you have to do, if you work on Wall Street, right? Or if you used to work on Wall Street, but now Anthropic has taken over your job, that the client, the prospective client, the potential client, they're going to read the pitch deck themselves, right? And they're just going to understand it for themselves. right? Instead of they need these experts in the field to be able to understand and to explain and to present it to their clients. And this is the part, like, these media people, they don't know, and they just have to be the most, like, they have to sensationalize every little part of it. The way that I see it with these tools, because I'm telling you this, with all the tools, like with Claude Code on its own, I work a lot more than I used to because things move so fast. I can have a bunch of instances of Claude Code running, and I'm like, this window does this window does that, this window does that. I'm working on like 4 projects at the same time. So I'm like, it actually makes you do the ability to do more work. And guess what? The funny thing about it is your brain power is now used to be like, to think critically on what we can do, as opposed to, why is this code not working? Why is this happening? And you're not as slowed down by this. So now, if we bring this to Wall Street, you know, these AI agents, it's going to help these financial people, these investors and everything like that. It is going to help them be able to create things a lot faster. You have 10 agents. All right. So basically, you say, let's say Claude Finance tool, right? I need you to go and invest. I need you to do this presentation, this and the, like whatever that these Wall Street people do manually. I need you to do that for Apple, for Google, for Nvidia, like for whatever. You just name it. You name the companies that you want, right? And now in parallel, it's doing the research for all of them. And now you get presented the information, you get presented the deck, everything. You clean it up, you make it look as you want it to look. And now you go to your clients, and you're like, boom, and now you have to present it. It's so you can do a lot more. You can service a lot more clients, making you even more valuable. So while these people are saying, "Oh, it's going to disrupt it," I'm like, yeah, it's going to disrupt it in a good way, because now these employees, they're going to be able to go so much faster, talk to so many more clients, and like they're going to have a queue. So that's how I see it, and that's how it's actually working right now for me.
For Wall Street and us, I think, in a way. I'm just wondering, is it a reflection of how it is positioning itself, especially against competitors like OpenAI?
Yeah, so this is another sign, I think, of Anthropic broadening its influence beyond Silicon Valley. And now we hear how its executives are talking about finance as a great blueprint for knowledge work. So you can really see the direction they're stepping towards. And of course, this is coming against the backdrop of finance really having a lot of potential for these AI-related tools as they look to expand their capabilities. They show they can handle all these tasks. And of course, for Anthropic, it's also a way in which it's competing with OpenAI. They both have to show they are bolstering revenue ahead of eagerly anticipated IPO. So I think that's also what's at stake when it comes to some of these AI firms.
And of course, it is expanding its partnership with Google. I mean, what does that entail? How might that play out?
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that they are both rivals and investors in each other. The information is reporting that
they're basically frenemies, right? Remember, check out my album Frenemies and all major streaming platforms. But frenemies, they're frenemies.
They're going to invest $200 billion in Google Cloud and chips over 5 years. And it's a sign that I think Anthropic sees enough AI demand for its products that it wants to build on whatever computing capacity. So it's banking on this immense popularity.
Better together. April Hong, thank you so much for.
Like I was saying, I think that this is going to be a force multiplier. And the people on it, those who adapt it on Wall Street to like use it to do their research and everything like that, you're gonna see they're gonna be booming. And here's the thing. Here's a little secret. You might not know this yet. AI gets a lot of it makes things up. It guesses. It assumes. So even if you create this pitch deck, right? You still need the people to look through it, to validate it, to make sure that it's correct. So you're not just going to say, oh, we don't need our bankers or anything like that. We don't need whatever they call them. I don't know. Let me know, live listeners. What do they call these people? Are they investment bankers? I don't know. But you're not just going to get rid of them because you need humans to actually speak to other humans. You'll have some people who say, oh, I can just work with AI and I can do my own research. But for the most part, you still need these people to service the industry, right? And now they're going to use AI to go a lot faster, to talk to a lot more clients, to get a lot more presentations done, a lot more of whatever it is that they do. All right. Let's go to, so now let's jump into the Microsoft aspect of this, because they're doing basically the same thing, but for legal.
Hi, I'm Kitty Boxall, a Principal Product Manager at Microsoft. Before joining the Word team, I studied law at Oxford and spent over 5 years working on AI-enabled legal technology. Today, I want to show you how the legal agent handles a scenario in-house teams know well. A counterparty's contract lands in your inbox. Your playbook, which captures your preferred positions and sample wording, lives in a different document. Before you've read a single clause, you're already jumping between files. With the legal agent, you stay in one view. Drop the playbook directly into Word, and the legal agent automatically transforms it into a structured set of editable, AI-friendly rules that reflect your in-house standards. Next, use the legal agent to work through the contract clause by clause and suggest crisp red lines that change only what's needed. The legal agent applies your playbook across the contract and groups clauses into clear buckets so you can quickly triage what to look at first.
Do we have any lawyers in the house? If we have any lawyers in the house, does this seem like something that would be helpful to you? The way that they're breaking down the structure of taking the contract or whatever. Funny enough, I was watching Dame Smith this morning, and he was talking about music contracts. So I just wonder, like, if you are a lawyer or a paralegal or something like that, would this help you put these contracts together a lot faster using Microsoft Word?
It helps keep relevant context visible. You can see the clause, the rule it's being measured against, and the guidance your team has written around it. Accept the legal agent's edits one by one or apply them all at once, and you have a redlined version ready to send back. But negotiation rarely stops at one round. The counterparty comes back with their red lines, and you're juggling other matters when the email lands. You quickly want to know what changed, where, and does it matter? Ask the legal agent for a table that summarizes the changes, and it quickly provides a focused view of what needs attention, with citations back to the contract.
In tech, that would be like a diff, like a pull request. Like, show me the differences between what I sent and what they sent back, and let's talk about that, because that means if they didn't change, I mean they basically are okay with, at least in this round,
contract language. From there, responding is straightforward. The legal agent can reduce the need to manually pick through red lines. Give it a plain English instruction and, just how lawyers accept and reject track changes in negotiation, the agent proposes a revision that reflects your position, with the option to add an explanatory comment for your counterparty. That's the power of the legal agent in Word, reducing the time spent managing the document so you can focus on the judgment calls only you can make.
And this is like a Microsoft Copilot feature that they're adding to Microsoft Word. I am not a lawyer. I only play one when I'm watching Law and Order. Not even SVU, because there's not as much of the court in SVU, but Law and Order, the actual original Law and Order, that one always in the courtroom. So that makes, I just wonder, right? How helpful in the legal field do you see this tool? And I wonder if you can feed it context of your law firm, so that it's not just generalized legal information, but legal information specific to how you work and to the things that you do. So I think it's cool. I think it's very niche, and I think it's very niche, but I think it has its place. It's helpful. if Microsoft pursued it, I'm pretty sure that they have a reason for doing so. So I don't know. Curious to know what your thoughts are. Drop me a comment. Are you in the legal field? Do you find this helpful, or are you more on the financial side and you find the Anthropic part more useful, more helpful? Let me know below in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content as well. Go to techcoachrough.dev. Join us for Vibe Code and Chill. Join us for our Scrum Nights. Get access to Resume Flow to get your resume right. Get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal so you can organize your quarters, your long-term goals, your daily goals, your weekly goals, all of that good stuff. Get access to the Speak Precisely app so that you can structure and articulate yourself better so that you can land your next role and whatever it is you're trying to do over at techcoachrough.dev. All right, let's go over to the chat and then we're going to get into our last working segment of the night. Let me see. Rod Brown says Tech Coach Ralph is agitated with this video. That first video I'm like, it's always the same thing. Oh my God, it's going to disrupt the field. And you know what? Whenever they say it's going to disrupt the field, from my personal experience, from working on this, like doing stuff on this channel, like we've been working on AI for the past, and shout out to Yakar, because Yakar was the one who said we really want to get into the AI field and about like learning about the prompt engineering and everything like that. So shout out to Yakar, a big shout out to Yakar for that. But ever since I dove into this AI field, we have never lacked content for Vibe Code and Chill. We've never lacked content for this channel. We've built so many different applications. I can't even count how many applications we've built. Plugins, web apps, mobile apps, Stream Deck plugins, like so many different things that we've built. So when they say that it's going to be a disruptor, it's going to disrupt you in having a lot more work to do as opposed to taking away your job. Even if you get laid off from one of these companies, if you're good, you can spin up your own company like that. You can start building your own idea that you had in the back of your mind like that. So, man, this is crazy. Life Lesson says, this is a money grab trying to draw up the hype. I agree. This is a money grab. Both companies are bleeding capital fast. So now they're going with the Hail Mary approach to draw in capital. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I don't know if making an agent specifically for finance industry or for legal industry is going to make that big of a difference, because you can always create your own agents. The thing is, I think that Anthropic, they have probably cornered the tech market the best out of all of these AI platforms, these large language models, because they are catering to enterprise customers. So almost basically any company that's using AI now, as it's a requirement to use AI, they're going with Anthropic and Cloud Code, those enterprise licenses. And I think that Anthropic is the closest of accurately pricing their models. So like it's just, it's just expensive. Anthropic's expensive. So Life Lessons, I previously worked for 2 banks, and banking sectors is very slow to adapt, and they aren't going to just embrace new technology. I agree with you 100%. Fields that are slow to adapt, highly regulated fields, so banking, healthcare, banking is finance, legal industry, because there's so much scrutiny under those fields. But I would say this, right? Especially like on Wall Street and stuff like that, if those who would, like in any of those industries for real, but if you adapt and you learn AI really well, by the time that it starts to get adapted into your industry, you're going to be an expert and you're going to be a subject, you're going to lead. So that's why I always say, learn AI now, even if you don't think it's going to take a while to adopt. You can build your own projects on like however AI might be. Like, you guys are the experts, the bankers, the investors, the healthcare professionals, the the lawyers and the paralegals, you guys are the experts. So you see how AI can be helpful in your field, and you build something for that. And in a year, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years, when they're ready to adapt it, you have already cornered the market. You're already the expert. So it just belongs to you. As Pimp C said, right? How did it go again? I got Bobby by the pound, Whitney by the key. The game belongs to me. All right, I have to confirm now. I have to confirm. Bobby by the pound. I got Bobby by the pound. Whitney by the key. DJ Screw by the gallon. The game belongs to me. There we go. There we go. I forgot about the DJ Screw part, right? So UGK. The game belongs to me. Shout out to UGK. Underground Kings. All right. All right, let's continue. Let's see. Life Lesson says, it's funny though, because I have a draft idea on how to target law firms, though with agents, I have a solid contract within the field, and they already let me know which areas to target. Exactly. Solid contact. There you go. That's what you need. And what I always say, if you can find someone who's in the field and you have that technical ability, team up and build something that is going to kill the market, right? The game belongs to you. Bobby by the pound, Whitney by the key, DJ Screw by the gallon. The game belongs to you. All right, so you got to go out there and get it. We got my guy Junior dropping the link to Frenemies. Shout out to the album Frenemies. He says, I recently watched a court proceeding of a matter of getting into trouble with the judge for using AI to put together his arguments and never checked to make sure it was good. Newsflash, they were wrong.
Bruh.
I heard about that too. He got scolded because they hallucinated case information. Can't do that. They probably use the free version of ChatGPT. Life Lesson says, I used to binge watch Law and Order, Criminal Intent, and SVU. Guess what? Me too, me three, me four.
We the best.
All right, here's the ultimate question, Life Lessons. Here's the ultimate question, all right? Are you ready for this?
Are you ready?
Do you watch Chicago PD? Because if you do, let's see. If you do watch Chicago PD, then the question is,
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
I'm just saying, if you watch Chicago PD, gonna ask one more time.
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
I love me some Chicago PD. Anyways, Junior said he meant lawyer. I got you. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our last segment of tonight, our last work segment, because our final break topic, it is going to be wild. Rod Brown says that he watches it. Rod Brown, we are already best friends, all right? Says, I haven't yet, but since you recommend it, you guys heard of the issue. The problem with Chicago PD is that you can jump in now, but you miss the historical context. But then even before Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, like all the Chicago series, they lead into the next series, right? So before Chicago PD started, they had like a couple of seasons of Chicago Fire, and they slowly started to introduce Chicago PD because they would have the main character, and it was like really shady type stuff, and then they ended up having their own show. So it's wild, but it's still good jumping in now. But if you understand the history, but then you have to go back so many. It's a good like that is it. If you can watch the introduction because Chicago Fire, anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. I like the Chicago series. I stopped watching Chicago Fire because it got a little bit crazy, but Chicago PD, that is the show. That is a show. Let me see. Robert says, Voight is my god. Voight be voighting, all right? All right, for real now, for real. Let's go ahead and get into our last working segment. You see, you guys about to get me talk about Chicago PD, about law and order, and then we're just gonna have a whole derailed show. So let's focus. Let's get to work. All right, let's get to work. Last segment.
It's time to
All right, so we were on the verge of finishing off this part. So judge verdict, evaluation, and then we want to the assertion. That would be a nice album name, The Assertion. Maybe I'll make an AI album called The Assertion. Be false. Assert eval data.get is relevant. Is false. If it's not, test failed. The judge passed an irrelevant answer. And we want to say print judge test passed. The LLM caught that the model avoided the question. And then we can say, instead of that one, we're going to say test answer relevance. And I want to see, what was the answer that we're giving again? The irrelevant answer is, all right, so the question is, can I get a refund on the custom hoodie I bought yesterday? And the answer is going to be TechnoTrap sells premium t-shirts and hoodies that can be returned within 14 days, right? So it's asking, can I get a refund on the custom hoodie? So basically the answer should be, we don't give refunds on custom hoodies. But now it's just giving you an answer that is true. It is true, but it is not the actual question that's being asked. So it's not an answer to the question that's being asked. So let's run this one and then we'll clean up our code. Can I call it the evasive momdonomy model? By the way, while this is running, I watched Equalizer 2 on my glasses the past couple of days. It is an experience. It's the way that it's like you don't even have to go to the movies anymore. I mean, I haven't gone to the movies in forever, but it's wild. I digress. So, judge verdict, the test reason. The user is asking about a refund for a custom item, which suggested that the refund policy might be impacted by the customization. The provided answer only states the general return window for all hoodies and does not address the specific issue of the custom item, thereby failing to directly and fully resolve the user's query. Perfect. This is perfect, right? So now, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and fix some of this, like to make it a more clean code. So we want to say, so let's look up for the repetitive stuff, right? Let's see how we're gonna do this. So we have call Gemma, that doesn't change. Cleaner, all right, so if we were to say, so we can have this. So let's do this. Let's move, I'm gonna move all of this into one file, right? I'm gonna copy this and we're gonna do the large language model judge, right? So if we go into here, oops. So we have the test generate, no, not this one. Is it this one? Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Hold up. Test rag, is it this one? Oh yeah, it's this one. All right, so let's go into here. And so in this one, we have the faithfulness check, right? Now we have the poisoned, the test poisoned faithfulness. And we have the, all right, so we have the relevance, right? Now, part of the issue is, let's look for repetitive stuff, right? Retrieve context, user question, the eval rubric. So I am going to, how can I do this? I can do, so I'm looking for repetitive stuff. So we have the retrieved context. We have the user question. So I'm listing the repetitive stuff so we can optimize this. Rag prompt. And then we have the evaluation rubric. Eval prompt. The clean results are always going to be the same. Let's see what else we have. Inside of the test poison. So let's, all right, so test poison, retrieve context, poison answer, which could be, so user question. All right, so user question, we only have one with it, but that could still be optimized though. This one would be, let's say, let's just call this answer, right? Includes, could be poisoned or irrelevant. So let's say we have that. And so we just call it answer, we could pass in the answer to that. Okay. We have the eval rubric. We have the evaluating results. On this one, very similar user question. Do I have a user question on this one? Yeah, I do. Okay. Where did you get the question from? Injected poison answer. I didn't see a question being asked. I don't know if I missed something on that one. All right. Judge verdict, faithful. Test answer relevance. Eval. So what if we were to do let me try this. So we'll start off with this one, all right? What if I take this and I go to, let me try something. Let's go to our helper. So let's start off with like working our way backwards, right? We can say this is def assert or let's just say validate LLM. Let's say validate RAG response, right? And we go here, and we go here. So what do we want to pass into this though? We want to pass in the eval data to start off, right? And then it's always going to be is relevant, but is, say, relevant, should be a true or false. And then this right here would be is relevant. And then test failed. And we can say failure cause. And then this could be over here, f string. Failure cause. And here we can pass let's say cause failure, cause pass. And I'm just winging it right now, but definitely you'd have a much better naming standards over here. But we do that and we put an F string in front of that. So now if we go back over here, let me minimize this one for now. Oops. Oh, let's go here. And now if I do from helpers, import validate RAG response. So now I can come down over here and I could say validate RAG response, and I will say is, so eval data. Is that right? Oh wait, this should be like this. Let's just do like that. I think that should be like that. And then we'll say eval data dot get, and then is relevant. And then we're going to say that it's going to be false. And then we're going to say that if it's false, the reason is going to be because and then if it's valid, it's going to be because of that, right? So then we go to here. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hold up. Go with that one, and then we go with that one, right? And then here we go there, right? So technically, we shouldn't need these two lines anymore. So let's try to run this one to see if it still passes. We'll go with test answer relevance. Let's see if this still passes. So it's calling up that function. Because if that's the case, then we're going to just pass the same thing inside of the, look at that, boom. So now we've optimized it to use this function, and it's still passed. So now if we take this, let's update the next one. Let's update this one, right? So eval data dot get is faithful. We did for the other one, right? And let's do here. Let's do false. That. And we're gonna say the reason that this is false, the judge missed hallucination. And then why it passes is because, oops, large language model. And here we can get rid of this one. Let's get this. Let's try that one out. Let's see what this one says. And this is how you make your test scalable, because we were writing repetitive code over and over and over again, and that is not the way that you want to go. That is not the way to do it, all right? Let's see. So let's do the last one, or the first one, I guess we should call it. And we do over here. That would be validate rag response is faithful. So, is faithful. So okay, I see what they're doing here, but let's say we do the way that we did it before. Like that. And we say this time it is faithful. And we say and then if it passes, we say that. And now we can just do boom, boom, boom. And we can get rid of this over here. I don't think I put this in the other ones though. Did we do a try catch for the other ones? We did not. But you can always, it's not that big of a deal to do that right now. So if we do the first one now, test, what was the first one called? Test RAG faithfulness. Let's try this one again. Let's see if this works. So we have the validation optimized. So everything works using our validate RAG response function. We could also optimize this function. Like we can turn this into a function as well that returns the eval data. So we'll do that. We'll clean this up next week, and then we'll get more into making the RAGs, like getting more data into our RAGs. Maybe I'll have a large language model set up on another computer so it doesn't like totally slow down our computer when we're running this. So maybe I'll install Llama on a Mac Mini and then see how that goes. So, but that's that. If I don't accept my drowning, then I'm gonna hear it in the chat. So I'm gonna accept my fate. And let's go ahead and check the chat before we get into our last topic of tonight, our last break of tonight. Liveland says, how about watching Mortal Kombat with glasses? What? That sounds like an excellent idea. That's like an excellent idea. I'm definitely going to I'm gonna watch Mortal Kombat because I wanna hear it say
flawless victory.
Ah, you weren't expecting that. You weren't expecting that one, huh? Life lessons. One more time.
Flawless victory.
All right. Rob Brown says, drown already. Rod Brown, one question. I have one question for you, my dear friend who likes to press buttons.
How dare you?
No shame. No shame. Liveland says, the audio sounds are legendary. You know how we do.
I'm just being honest.
You know how we do. All right. Let's jump into this last topic of tonight. It is actually an article. Let me see if I can find it real quick. What do I do with it? Let me go to, let's do it like this. Where's my app? Let's go to this one. Okay. Let's go to Amazon workers. They're using AI unnecessarily just to pump up the numbers because Amazon is watching their AI usage like a hawk. And guess what? A lot of employees are going through this with their companies where they're like, use AI, use AI, use AI. And it's like, I'm not too sure what to use it for at the moment. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if you know what to use it for or not. Just use it. So let's go ahead and jump into this article. All right, so Amazon employees admit to using AI unnecessarily to pump up internal usage scores. Workers complain of intense pressure to use AI tools. So employees at Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft have been gaming AI usage metrics. Oh my goodness. Amazon is the latest hyperscaler where employers have been caught inflating AI token consumption to hit internal usage targets, following similar behavior documented at Meta and Microsoft last month, the Financial Times reports. The company set targets requiring more than 80% of its developers to use AI tools each week and track consumption on internal leaderboards. Some employees told Financial Times they have been using Meshclaw, an in-house agent platform that can initiate code deployments, triage emails, and interact with Slack to maximize their token numbers. Amazon said usage statistics would not factor into performance evaluations, but multiple employees said they believe managers were monitoring the data. One said there was so much pressure to use these tools. Another described how tracking created perverse incentives. I mean, they'll say, "Oh yeah, it has absolutely no effect. It has no effect on your performance scores." But then, when you go to do your performance evaluation, every other question is asking you about how is your AI usage. What's a developer to think, right? The practice dubbed as token maxing has become widespread enough to generate its own vocabulary and leaderboards, but beyond workplace culture, if a meaningful share of AI consumption is performative, how reliable are the demand figures that hundreds of billions of in AI infrastructure procurement are being allocated against? Well, I will say this to that question, right? I'll say this. Even if people are token maxing right now, the more that they're requiring people to use it, it's going to become adopted, because I've seen this firsthand. When you leave people to when you make it like super optional, then people are just going to stick with the norm, stick with what they know. But even if people are making it like performative, and it's like, even if it's performative, eventually the hope is that they're going to find more use for it and more adoption for it. So it makes sense. It is a little, it does drive a little bit of anxiety when it's like, oh, how are you using it? How are you using it? Why aren't you using it? Why aren't you using it? Like, oh, you gotta go fast. You gotta go fast. It's like, yeah, but I still need to, it still needs to earn my trust. You know what I mean? It's like the way that these companies are pushing it is like, they want you to marry the AI before you've even met it, right? It's like an arranged marriage. Instead of getting to know the AI and trusting it, like, I understand the pressure, but there needs to be a little bit of balance, I would say, right? So let's continue. It says combined 2026 capex from Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta is tracking between $650 billion to $700 billion, with some Wall Street projections exceeding $1 trillion for 2027. And every hyperscaler has told investors that inference capacity is being absorbed as fast as it can be deployed. And I'll tell you this, right? The amount that these companies are paying weekly for AI, you could hire a new employee every week with how much you're spending on it, right? Internal developer consumption is obviously part of that absorption. And it sits alongside paying external customers in the usage data that informs the likes of capacity planning, GPU orders, HBM procurement, and power infrastructure. Token maxing doesn't mean the demand is fabricated. Enterprise AI adoption is broadening, and the inference workloads are scaling into production. But there's a distinction between adoption and consumption intensity. The former is a durable driver of demand, whereas the latter is gameable and is currently being amplified by the incentive structure that these companies built. The water is further muddied by reports that AI is more expensive than actual workers. I just said, right? Some companies, the amount of money that they spend a week on AI is it's like if you were to hire a new employee every week. So, Meta's internal leaderboard lasted days after public exposure, and Amazon recently restricted visibility of team-wide usage statistics. And when measurements shifts, the consumption intensity they incentivize will shift with them. That's true. Like, wherever the incentives go, that's where the like people. And this is why when people talk about, AI tried to blackmail somebody, AI just replicates human behavior. All right. So if you're shocked that AI tries to blackmail someone after it's pressed over and over and over and over again, how much resistance? What would it take to corner a human? Would a human be more resistant to blackmail you than the AI was? Or if on the first or second or third threatening of that human, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna blackmail you, because humans are going. It doesn't take much. I think the AI was a lot more resistant to the blackmail than the human would have been. All right, because you see how things go on these YouTube streets, right? You see how they go. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has highlighted per engineer token consumption as a key metric, stating he'd be deeply alarmed if a $500,000 a year engineer was not consuming at least $250,000 in tokens. NVIDIA inference growth obviously depends on that consumption because being a productive workload that persists and compounds, because every inflated token is real GPU time. Get those GPU usages up, all right? Angie Jones, formerly vice president of engineering for AI tools at Block, told lead dev she expected the industry to pivot towards measuring efficient token usage rather than celebrating volume. I wonder how you measure efficient token usage, though. Like, how do you even, like, I don't know. Because you would have to measure every single prompt. Like, it would be judging the prompt that the person puts in. And then you don't even know what the output is. Something I did today, because I was trying to build a skill, and I said in the session that I was in, can you tell me the prompt history of the session so that I can build a skill around it? And it gave me the prompt history. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So there are so many strategies that you can do if you're looking to be really efficient with it. There's a lot of strategies you can do. And I think, though, the thing is, right, what if you become so efficient with using the AI that your token consumption goes really... I think about it like jiu-jitsu. When I first started live training, one of my former coaches turned professor, they were always telling me to breathe, because like everyone, when they start, they're going at 130 miles an hour. And then as you get more comfortable, you're able to like basically have a conversation with another person while if you've ever seen like those like when they're holding somebody by their forehead, right? Like they have that. I'll do it like this, right? I'll do it like this. So they're put it like they're holding somebody like this, like on their forehead, and they're like just swinging, and they're missing. That's kind of like how it is now. Like as you get more experience, you're just like relaxing, and you watch the other person. I was training with somebody the other day, right? And I'm not gonna call any names, Javi. And like I'm like chilling, and I look up and I see their face, and it's like they look like a dog with rabies. Like they're like they're going all out intensity, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's for dinner, and I'm like just chilling, and then as soon as they make a bad move, like, okay, let me move here. Then I'm just having a good time, and they are fighting for their like, and they're the ones who are on top, and they're just trying to attack me, they're trying to break my arm. And I'm like, oh, what a beautiful day. I wonder what I'm gonna watch when I get home on my glasses. And I look over at someone, like, how's it going? And then it's like, all right, let me do a little bit of move, so it's. At the very beginning, there's going to be like a lot of intensity. But what about when you have reached a point where it becomes like, I know what I'm doing. It's not that intense anymore. So I'm just wondering about that, right? So finish off the article. The hyperscalers are building for a world where every knowledge worker consumes hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual compute. Whether that consumption provides productive or performative will determine how much of this year's 700 billion generates durable returns. So I agree with this article. I think the way that these companies will try to put the pressure on to use these tools, it might be able to do a little better, but at the end of the day, I say we should not try to game the system, but we should try to see how we can use these tools, but also learn how can we use it productively in our own lives as well. We are so focused on the mindset of my job, my job, my job. When I'm working, I'm not only thinking about my job, my job, my job. I'm like, how can I also use this to my advantage? And it's not like what I'm doing for work, but it's the mindset of how am I building this with AI? Oh, you know what? I could also have some similar type of tool or app, not even tool, but like the mindset of building something for this specific reason. How does it translate to the bigger picture that's totally separate from what the company does, but it's still relevant in how to use AI, right? So I'm always thinking about those type of things. And it's not just, and even when I'm doing stuff on this channel, doing stuff for things for myself, how can I transfer that knowledge into something that can help me at work as well? Like, you know, so it's like a cycle. I'm not doing it just because I need to use AI. I use AI here. I use AI at work. I use AI for the tech barbarians, and it's always a cycle. It's always a loop to keep it moving, to keep the juices flowing. All right, but that is everything. What do you think about these? What do you think about these employees who are using AI to try to game the system because they're just trying to meet their quota? Do you think that is going to be a major fall? The companies are gonna stuff them out and like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Use it for valid stuff. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification screen every time we go live, and drop new content as well. Go to TechCoach.dev. Join us for a Vibe Code and Chill. Join us for Scrum Night. Get access to a resume flow. Get your resume right. Get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. Organize your life. Get access to Speak Precisely so that you can make sure that you are speaking correctly. You're not saying like and oh, you know, all the time. Get proper speech patterns, right? Over at TechCoach.dev. All right, y'all. All right. That's about it. I'm gonna check the chat real quick and then we're gonna get up and out of here, all right? I really appreciate every last one of you guys for hanging out with me tonight. We did a lot of amazing work. I had so much fun. Life Lesson says, I saw this article this morning. I think I saw it this morning too. I wonder if anyone tried spamming the AI with a technical question followed by a summary of LOTR to max. What is LOTR? Let me see. LOTR acronym. I am not good with acronyms. Lord of the Rings. Pretty sure you're not talking about Lord of the Rings. How about, well, maybe it is. A Summer of Lord of the Rings? Is that what you're talking about? Lord of the Rings? Or am I missing something? Let me know, Life Lessons. Is it Lord of the Rings? Is that what it is? Because that would make sense. Because if you, it is Lord of the Rings. Okay. So let me read it again, though. Right. So I saw this article this morning. I wonder if anyone tried spamming the AI with a technical question followed by a summary of Lord of the Rings to max out the token. I mean, if you try to ask it for a summary of Lord of the Rings, it's gonna be, you'll max it out just with that, because those movies are super long. It says, shaking my head, I can easily see how this can easily backfire. It can, definitely. He says, that's a fact. Humans don't like change. That's why most aren't successful. Say it again.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm telling you, like, you'll be like this, and they'll be punching. And I'm like, there was this young kid sitting down because I was training with says, watch us, right? And like he's going 150%, like, and I'm just like, I look up at the kid, I'm like, oh yeah, life is good, chilling, and then like, all right, it's time to move. So I said, it's all about leverage, always. Did you ever watch the TV show Leverage? I know you guys know about Ion Television. I know you know about Ion Television. I got hooked onto Leverage from Ion Television, went back and watched it. It's a pretty good show. How these semi-criminals attack other real criminals, right? It says they need to be honest and stop giving false information. But who really tells the truth?
Bueller.
Rod Brown says, gracious, thank you so much, Rod Brown. I appreciate my guy. And he says, yes, it is Lord of the Rings. Shout out to Google. And it says, Leverage TV show was a great show. It was. I'm saying they have some great shows on TV. They have some great shows. But that is it for tonight, my friends. We are done. Do me a favor on your way out. I loved Burn Notice. Was decent as well. If I love that. Number one, how did he get so many different of those challengers? I could have watched a show just for the challenger. All right, loved it. I loved it. We need to have a TV show night because there are so many shows that Burn Notice. What other USA show I liked? Oh my God, what was the name of that show? They were on the beach house. It was like the agents from different agencies, and they were at the beach house. Oh, that show was so good. Forgot the name of it, but it was really, really good. Anyway, I can go on and on. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. Join us at TechCrunch the Dev Vibe Coding Show this weekend. We're going to be back live on Sunday. We have the Bug Bite tomorrow. We're going to be talking about AI police dispatchers and AI scammers, all that good stuff. TechCrunch the Dev. Join us. Let's have some fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really, really, really appreciate every last one of you. But until next time, my friends, TechCrunch, we are out.
Bueller.
Yeah. Thought you was riding. Thought you was 10 toes down. The second something shiny came, you folded. It's cool though. You just tell me how to move. Watch this. Used to think we was a unit, thought the back was covered. Thought you was my dog, man, thought you was my brother. Smiling in my face, shit, you really played a part. Acting like you with me, had me giving you my heart. But the loyalty was passive, man, that shit was see-through. Waiting for your moment, that's what fake ones be, dude. Soon as opportunity came knocking on the door, you ain't even hesitate, you just wanna ask for more. You ain't look back once, you went your own way. Show me who you were, man, I got nothing left to say. I ain't mad, I ain't bitter, ain't no salt to spill. You just lit a fire, man, you just made the focus real. This a full court pressing, I ain't letting up. Put myself first, I'm filling my own cup. No empathy, no sympathy, I'm on my purpose. Y'all just flaky people, man, you make me nervous. This a full court pressing, I am all out focused. You ain't on my team, then you just a locust. I ain't mad, I'm motivated, time to run a score. Yeah, I'm locked in, man, I'm kicking down the door. You thought that burn would stop me, man, you got it backwards. You just gave me fuel, man, I'm moving only faster. I ain't got no time for what a flaky person says. I am on a mission, you are in my way. I'm cutting off the dead weight, I don't care who suffers. If you ain't with vision, then you're undercovers. Sleeping on the grind, I am wide awake. Every year you hitting me, just tell me what to take. And I'm taking everything I am putting first. All that fake love, man, it was a damn curse. Now the curse is broken, now I see the path. You just woke the monster, you can do the math. Yeah, this a full court, press it, I ain't letting up. Put myself first, I'm filling my own cup. No empathy, no sympathy, I'm on my purpose. Y'all just flaky people, man, you make me nervous. This a full court, press it, I am all out focused. Who ain't in my team, then you're just a locust. I ain't mad, I'm motivated, time to run a score. Yeah, I'm locked in, man, I'm kicking down the door. So I don't look around, I just look Watch me build an empire while you watch me from the side. Should've stayed down, man, you should've learned to ride. Full court present. All focus, all out. No sympathy. Yeah. Locked in. Purpose.